Possible Verstappen exit from Red Bull, the big bombshell of the day. It's the major news of the day, and we're diving into it now on DRS Zone. Welcome back to another video. I'm Mike Ross, and today we're diving into some huge stories. This is our last video before the cars hit the track for the new season, and we're starting off with some interesting news about Jack Doohan. He's brushing off rumors that he might not finish his first season in F1, despite harsh criticism from Red Bull's Dr. Helmut Marko, who called him a C-level driver. Yeah, you heard that right. Recently, Marko labeled Gabriel Bortolito as a B-level driver, while he referred to Andrea Antonelli as an A-level talent. This means Antonelli is seen as the future star, while Bortolito is just average. And now, Doohan is being labeled as someone who won't last long in F1. Doohan himself is refusing to pay attention to such rumors. He's determined to prove his worth on the track and show that he can get solid results and stay in the championship for the entire season. Honestly, this situation is pretty awkward. I've said this before, Doohan is entering the season almost like he's already been fired. For both him and us, it's uncomfortable. It's like we're just waiting for him to get replaced by Franco Colapinto, who's being lined up as the future of the team. Unless something really unexpected happens, Doohan's time in F1 could be short. Now, moving on to Bortolito. He's not letting Marko's comments slide either. After being called a B-level driver, Bortolito is using this as motivation to prove his worth. He's confident that he's outperformed other Red Bull-backed drivers and is aiming to show Marko his capabilities on the track. He also emphasized the importance of learning from his teammate, Nico Hülkenberg, and acknowledged that adapting to F1 quickly will be a challenge, especially without proper testing. Unfortunately, F1 doesn't have many private tests anymore, something that was common in the early 2000s. Bortolito's approach is simple: prove yourself on the track. I think that's the best response he and Doohan can give. As for Hülkenberg, Bortolito can definitely learn a lot from him. Hülkenberg is an experienced and solid driver, known for giving great technical feedback. But we must remember that Hülkenberg has already made it clear that he's not there to be a mentor. He's not interested in playing the role of teacher or tutor, so Bortolito will have to figure things out on his own. That's just how it is in F1, your first rival is often your teammate. F1 is full of ego, and while it's nice to imagine that drivers help each other, that's more of a Netflix fantasy than reality. The big names are all about themselves, as we saw with Verstappen and Lando Norris last year. Verstappen made it clear that he wasn't going to give Norris an inch, even though they were friends. So, Bortolito will have to fight for himself. Russell predicts McLaren's dominance. Changing gears, George Russell recently said he believes McLaren will dominate the upcoming F1 season after preseason testing. He mentioned that Mercedes showed good pace but is still looking for more consistency. However, McLaren looks like the team to beat. Oscar Piastri also weighed in, dialing down expectations a bit. He pointed out that a lot of teams are hiding their true performance and reminded everyone that the Australian Grand Prix is a unique, challenging circuit. That's true. Australia often delivers some surprising results that don't necessarily reflect the overall season. It's a hybrid track, with both permanent circuit sections and street-style sections, so it's tricky for teams to predict how the cars will perform. Russell might be right, but Norris has his own take. Lando Norris admitted that McLaren has to keep an eye on Ferrari. He believes Ferrari could be a big threat, so everyone should watch them closely. It's likely McLaren will be competitive, but Ferrari might be right there, ready to pounce. It'll be interesting to see what happens as we approach the first races. Marko drops a bombshell about Verstappen's future. And now, the big news of the day. Dr. Helmut Marko has been talking openly recently, and he's dropped a huge statement. After months of denying that Max Verstappen could leave Red Bull, Marko has now admitted that Verstappen could leave after the 2024 season, and it all depends on the team's performance. This is something we've been speculating about for a while, and now Marko is publicly acknowledging it. Marko confirmed that Verstappen has a performance clause in his contract. If Red Bull fails to deliver a competitive car, Verstappen might decide to leave. This raises a lot of questions, especially with all the rumors about meetings with Toto Wolff and Aston Martin. It's clear there's pressure on Red Bull to deliver a strong car for Verstappen. He's not interested in staying with a team that can't fight for wins and championships. If Red Bull falls short this year, Verstappen might seriously consider switching teams. If Verstappen leaves, where would he go? Mercedes is a possible destination. They could either drop Russell or give him the boot in favor of someone like Antonelli. Aston Martin could also be an option, especially if Alonso decides to retire or his contract ends in 2026. That could be a perfect spot for Verstappen, and it would shake up the entire grid. So, the possibility of Verstappen leaving Red Bull is real, and we'll definitely be watching this closely over the next couple of seasons. It's going to be fascinating to see how things unfold. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates. We'll be back soon with more coverage on the Australian Grand Prix. Until then, take care, and see you next time.